Welcome to this week's Bible story, again from Spark Story Bible from Spark Publishing House. And we have a special story this week. It is sort of a review of day 2 of our VBS story. And it is the story from Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. And Jesus walks on the water. So the disciples were just waking up on their boat. They had been out on the water all night, and they yawned and they stretched. It was so early. The sun wasn't even up yet. And Andrew rubbed his eyes and looked into the fog. "Hey," he whispered, "do you see what I see?" "Ooh, it's a ghost," James cried out in fear. And the disciples were shaking in their sandals. They were terrified. And through the fog, they could see an outline of a person walking on the water. It was Jesus. "Don't be afraid. It's just me," Jesus said. He waved a friendly hello. "If it's really you, Jesus, tell me to walk on the water," Peter said bravely. "Okay," Jesus shrugged. "Come on out, Peter. The water's fine." Gulp. Peter swallowed hard. He placed one foot into the water. Peter just starting to try it, right? Plop. He didn't go under. He tried the other foot. Plop. He was standing. He kept his eyes glued on Jesus as he took a few careful steps. He walked faster and faster, splish, splash. Only his feet were getting wet, and Jesus smiled at him. And Peter felt the wind blowing on his face. He took his eyes off Jesus and looked up to the dark clouds. He felt afraid. Uh-oh. His ankles were wet. Uh-oh. His knees were wet. Uh-oh. Peter was sinking. "Help, save me, Jesus, save me," he yelled. Jesus reached out his hand and pulled Peter out of the sea. "Why did you stop looking at me?" Jesus asked, holding his friend tightly. "Don't you trust me?" And the wind stopped. They climbed into the boat full of cheering disciples. "Hooray, this proves it," they said. "You really are the Son of God." And from that day on, the disciples were excited to tell everyone they met about the power of Jesus. So, would you have been more like James or Peter if you saw a person walking on top of the water?